Hi, friends. Earth Eric here. Host of Tootsie Pop Challenge. Now, I want to say that this title does not apply to Rachel. Rachel is encouraged to continue watching whatever it is she's watching. And for all the rest of you out there, this title applies. Stop watching other videos. I'm live streaming now. Okay, good. Thank you, Zandy. Zandy understands the importance of obeying my title. You know. Hello, everybody. Hello. I'm just finishing the Tootsie part of my Tootsie Pop. I'll be with you momentarily. I've got huge important news. Huge important news. Arcadia Silva, thank you for obeying the title. I appreciate it. This title seems to be working pretty well, you know. Yeah, well, I mean, this is important news I've got here. There's the important news. I'm not going to lie to you. Okay, not this time. No lying this time. Here's what I have to tell you. The truth, okay? The real truth. Finally, for once in a while, you get the real truth from me. I'm pretty bored. That's the truth. I'm pretty bored this time. I'm sure I get it. You know, like, hey, Eric, you're lying. You're not bored. No, I'm not lying. I am bored. I'm bored. So are you. There's no point in lying about it this time. Your constant lies are getting tiresome, you know, Anthrax. Your constant lies. Do you think you're slowly losing your mind, Sandy? Well, I think that's optimistic, Sandy. I think you might be quickly losing your mind. So I'm going to hold on, Rip, and make sure that everybody is aware that I'm bored. I'm bored, so I'm live streaming. And everybody needs to come listen to me talk about how bored I am, or else they're watching the wrong videos, except for Rachel, who's excused. Because she's watching something important. Hey, somebody left. I think they might have gone to watch other videos. What's going on around here? The best experience yesterday was going to Costco and talking to a guy about bagels. That does sound like the best possible experience. Thank you, Octavia. Thank you. Yes, please. Everyone, thumbs up this amazing content you're enjoying right now. Oh my God, Eric, your content is so compelling. So non-stop compelling. Email Anthrax, you're being told to isolate like you weren't isolated enough already. Telling INTPs to isolate is like telling ice to be cold. You know? Telling Zandy to isolate is like telling her to stop being Zandy. Stop going out and talking to people. Stop being friendly.
Before I forget, Jeff's mom texted me again saying, could you please ask him if he could teach Chloe tonight? Thanks.
I don't want to do that. Can you tell her that he says that let's meet remotely at 7 and discuss it?
Okay.
I don't know, whatever you are, email anthrax. INTJ, INTP, some sort of I, probably, some sort of introverted intuitive.
Thank you.
I don't know what you are, email anthrax. Possibly. Well, you know, maybe I should go around town exposing myself and then telling people, you've been exposed. What are you, email? What are you, email anthrax? What are you? A man or a mouse? Huh? Okay, I told you some important news already. I am bored. I'm bored. And I'm boring. Both those things. I'm bored, boring, and full of boredom. Those are 3 pieces of exciting news for you. Well, email anthrax, I've never spoken to you. I would conclude you're an NTP based on your name. There's nothing else. That's a very NTP style name. And based on your various comments and stuff, I conclude you're probably an NTP. Maybe I, maybe E, more likely I, because E's are so, extrovertedly intuitive. People like me. Attack Phoenix, Eileen, I don't know what you are. For God's sakes. For God's goodness sakes. I don't know you, and I don't know Ethan McDonald. No matter how many times the two of you want to bring up what type you are. Okay? You want me to know what you are? That's why you're here? Well, how the fuck am I supposed to know who you are? You just chat here. I've never talked to you. Well, I would guess you're an NTP of some sort. I had some serious I don't ask you, others ask you. No, not this time, Missy Pants. Why are you an NFJ then? Email anthrax? INFJ maybe? That's another possibility. You could be an NFP, I guess.
She said, okay, thanks.
Eric, who is more likely to avoid being bummed out by serious conversations, NTP or ENFP? I mean, I'm bummed out by serious conversations. I don't know how bummed out ENFPs get by serious conversations. Not really so much.
Okay, like
Rachel says they feel pretty comfortable with serious conversations, probably because they're FI tool,
If I had anything that I really, really wanted to contemplate, I knew that I could go to my dad. He would
help you feel it out.
yeah, in measures. It's weird. Very calculated.
Yeah, well, ENFPs are a bit of a mystery to me. ENFPs and ENTPs don't tend to get and stay close. Just as ENTPs and ENTPs don't tend to get and stay close. ENFPs and ENTPs might have a kind of a hot and cold relationship. Like, we'll see eye to eye when we're just inning, and then not at all when we're deliberating. But I don't have a lot of ENFPs close to me, probably because ENFPs and ENTPs don't tend to mix very well, I guess. There's a fair number of ENFPs around here, I guess, and that's probably because they're probably more able to fill in they're less egotistical. ENFPs are going to feel a certain amount of hatiness around me, probably. And niche overlap, whereas ENFPs are more likely to be comfortable being ENFPs and who they are, and they're not really worried about competition between other types and stuff like that.
Can't be.
ENFP is a little more ego based in general. Oh no, fuck you, like that. ENFPs are too excitable. Eric, can you just accept the fact, even if you are unable to recognize it? Accept what fact? I've neither affirmed nor negated any of your purported facts.
Paper towels.
They're over there on the sink area.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Eileen, I did not bring up your type today. You did. And God damn it, for as long as I live, I will never, ever, ever accept the idea that Eileen's an INTJ. Not really. I don't really care that much. You might be an INTJ. I don't know. I don't care. It's not. Look.
No, it really is true. It is true that you can't tell through the live chat that the type of people.
Right, you really can't tell the live chat.
You thought I was an either ISFP or INFP just based on my comments.
Right.
So.
Based on comments and chats and stuff, I'm very often wildly off base. So that is not a good reason to think you're any given type. Jack, Oliver Aaron's live stream just finished. How am I? I am fine. Thank you for obeying the live stream title, Winston's mom, albeit a little bit late. I do think that's probably a pretty good live stream title as they go, except that people are sure to be disappointed when they get here because it's not really that interesting. Basically, the topic today is how I'm bored, I'm boring, and I'm full of boredom. Those are our three topics.
We got Kitty's bandage changed.
We did. That was our big exciting outing today. We went to the veterinarian, and Kitty got her bandage changed.
It was pretty quick.
It was. And they did a more expensive kind of bandage.
Yeah. I wish that they had to discuss that with you before then the price change,
Thanks, emailed Anthrax. Yeah, well, I wish they had to, but you know what? I'm not worried about that extra $20 for the bandage change because if it helps people get better faster, fine. She seems, annoyed by this big thing on her foot. It's like she's got club foot, basically. Thanks, Zandy. Thanks, everybody. I really feel like I was fishing for compliments there now. Tom Dickerson feels like he recognizes Winston's mom's name from somewhere, but you can't think where. Did you have a friend named Winston who had a mother? Maybe that's where you recognize it from. Sometimes, he is just sometimes boring when he talks about peacocks. Well, peacocks are a pretty boring topic, Pete's not boring.
No.
Pete went on a nice walk with us yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah. My dad called him and he followed us along and stuff. And my dad feeds him Eat some peanuts, and that is a lovely
Aw,
bear.
It is.
What a sleepy Times Express.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a joke because you just saw her in Jack's live stream.
Oh.
I see, Tom Jacobson. Makes sense now. So Jack Oliver Aaron was polluting the airwaves with socionics wrongness, huh? Well, thank God you're here to be relieved of socionic wrongness by host Eric and his post-socionics truth. Email, what type are you? That's my question. I have one question to figure out what type you are. What type are you, emailed Anthrax? You tell me, and then I'll tell you. So, I will say I do feel that's certainly plausible. Email to Anthrax definitely puts you in the clever four, probably. I like to call the NTP NFJ. Especially the two NTPs, the INFJ and the INTJ, are what you might call the clever four.
I like that. Number 4. Sounds like a basketball bracket.
Yeah, I would say those are the four most clever types. The two NI DOMs and the NE DOM and with TI and the TI DOM with NE. Now, ENFPs might feel kind of left out by this, but sorry, sometimes it's just how I view things, and that's just a little bit unfair, maybe. But
Yeah, but okay. Do you think Robin Williams is a ENFP?
yeah, and he's not clever.
Right. That's what I was just gonna. That's why I was pointing it out. He's
Okay.
not.
Good
you
point,
know?
baby. Good point.
He just kind of like does things.
He runs around and makes faces, and
Yeah.
you're not clever at all. Right?
Yeah.
Hunter Thompson, very clever. ENTP.
Yeah. They have what's his name? They like to have him play ENTPs. The guy who played in Fear and Loathing.
Oh yeah, Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
I suspect Johnny Depp is not himself an ENTP though.
He's definitely not.
I think he's an NFP.
Possibly.
I think he's probably an ENFP, possibly an INFP, but probably an ENFP. Yeah.
Well, that I just. He can't be anything else but ENFP. Then really, you know.
It could be an NFJ. He might be. I wouldn't put it beyond him being ENFJ.
I don't know. He actually is a celebrity that I can say I try to stay away from stuff with him because he's so like enigmatic and yet like revolting. Like he does like disgusting things.
Enigmatic and revolting.
Yeah.
That's an interesting combination.
No, he tries to be like rock star, like take a lot of drugs and like throw stuff. He's definitely an ENFP.
That makes sense. Well, Robert Downey Jr. ESTP? Or maybe, I don't know, he plays a lot of ENTPs.
Yeah.
He might be. He might be an ENTP. I've typed him as an ENTP before. I would say that's not out of the question at all. Like, and then you look at somebody like Charlie Sheen. What's Charlie Sheen? Probably ESTP. I would guess he's probably ESTP.
I mean, his 2.5 Men. That was his show, and that's pretty ESTP appealing. You know, that's the appeal. He's the appeal, the ESTP of it.
Right.
He goes, slays women.
Yeah. Yeah.
The one that I care about of those Sheen people is more his brother, Emilio Estevez.
Emilio Estevez. Whatever happened to Emilio Estevez?
Right?
Good question, baby. Emilio Estevez. Why does his name Emilio Estevez instead of a Sheen? You know?
I think his dad is Michael Sheen.
All right. So why doesn't he have the Sheen name? I wonder. Let's see what Emilio Estevez is up to. Let's Google it. Good old Emilio Estevez. He was born in 1962. So he's 9 years older than me. It means he's 57 years old. In 2017, his appearance in films was found to generate the highest return on investment on average of all Hollywood actors.
That's
That's really
fascinating.
interesting. Wow.
He's in some pretty good movies. That's fascinating.
In 2019, he performed at numerous WE Day concerts, which is a Canadian charity that hosts tens of thousands of students and celebrate the impact they have made on local and global issues. Some sort of liberal stuff, probably. He seems to not have a whole lot of private life in here. You know, it must not be that crazy, you know. Like he sort of seems kind of SFJ-ish to me.
Yeah.
Maybe ISFJ. Maybe INFJ, but I don't know.
No, I think S.
I think
is
S.
right.
He seems kind of S to me.
Because he doesn't make anything modern. He hasn't made anything really modern in years, and his identity is kind of in with those movies that he's made in the past. I think he's okay with that.
But also, I don't think that I've seen from him any of that kind of like, I need to explore myself as an actor. I need to branch out. He seems perfectly comfortable doing just the same kind of basic role every time, you know?
Yeah.
Which would seem to suggest ISFJ as well.
Yeah.
Hi, Joe. Rowan Atkinson is terrible. Oh, God, he's terrible. He's not funny at all. That guy cannot be an ENTP. He can't be.
I don't think he is.
There's no
People
way.
like to say that he is.
He's just not funny at all.
My dad introduced us to Mr. Bean as kids. I liked it as a kid.
I'm sure it's funny for kids, but it's not funny for adult human beings.
No, it's not. And I can say that for certain because I watched it as an adult and I didn't think it was as funny. It didn't hold up. I was sad. I was sad about that. You know, Hugh Laurie was in a Rowan Atkinson show called Blackadder. And Hugh Laurie was so funny in it. It was before I even knew, before he was, who he is now.
He probably is an ENTP just because he plays one so effectively.
He's so funny. He's so funny. That's what I know him as being funny. Not as a doctor, but he does play that well. He's known for that.
I don't know. I don't know anything about the guy except for his acting roles, so it's hard for me to judge. So.
He's I'm telling you, in that Rowan Atkinson show, he and one other British comedian in that show, saved it. It was very good. He was very good. He's very talented. Yeah, Blackadder was a good show.
I think Rowan Atkinson's an ENFJ. Isn't that
He's mostly physical, right?
That's SE third. NI. It's like he's SE NI. There's not really any ideation in shit, you know.
No, there's none. Mr. Bean is all like,
Right, but you still call it sort of
Right?
intuitive, I guess.
yes.
That's why I'd say ENFJ.
I don't actually associate ENFJs with comedians.
I mean, I don't either.
Yeah, that would make sense.
And he's not really, in any sense of the word, a comedian. He's somebody trying to be a comedian, I guess, but
He's
funny to be a comedian. He's definitely not funny.
No, he can't. He wouldn't be able to put a stand-up performance. That's for sure. But Mr. Bean is over the top silly. It's just like there was this like episode where he's online to meet the Queen of England, and he's like standing there and he's like fixing up his suit, and all of a sudden he realizes that his fly is down. So he's like, oh, what am I gonna do? And the guy next to him is like pointing down at his fly, and he's like, no. And he puts his hand down there, and his finger gets stuck in the zipper, so it looks like he has a mini penis while he's going to shake the hand of the Queen of England. So that's the kind of humor that Mr. Bean goes for.
And the thing is, if you think about it, all of that humor is designed to be appreciated real time. In other words, you've got to enjoy the real time progression of the physicality.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas that's not the kind of humor that like an extroverted intuitive or an introverted intuitive dom would appreciate at all, because you don't want the real time part. You want the real time part. It comes with timing of the word jokes.
Yeah.
And it's non-word jokes to me are just absolutely unbearable. I just can't watch that shit. It's like torture.
Yeah, it's well, the fact that he needed the assistance of the humor of the guy standing next to him goes to show that the joke on its own is not funny.
Well, I mean, the thing is, it's if you're an intuitive type like you or me, you collapse it into what it means, which is what you just did. You explain the joke.
Yeah.
This is what the joke is. And of course, it's not funny because it's impossible for it to ever be funny except as experienced if you're into real-time experiential humor like that, which you have to be not intuitive at all to be into.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm just feeling a little shy, so hello.
Anyway, you can put Mr. Bean on the list of people that include Dave Matthews and Bill Walton. Okay, my shit list. Okay, put Rowan Atkinson on the list with Bill Walton and Dave Matthews Band. Hi, Nympho Estrada. So, who else can we put on this list of awfulness?
Can we please put Adam Sandler?
He's not.
He was good. He was good.
That eliminates him from the list right there.
All right. Yeah, but people could argue that like one song of Dave Matthews is good.
No, that would be a bad argument. I would also put on this list, of course, Kings of Leon. Kings of Leon deserves to go on the list as well. No, I don't have any high heels.
That's so weird. I'm so new. I feel so neutral about a lot of things. I can't.
I mean, look.
I cannot stand him now. He's worthless. Adam Sandler, you're a worthless piece of shit. And I like you because you have your friends in your movies, so that's loyalty. But you were a hack.
Okay, well, yeah. I mean, look. I'm not a big Adam Sandler fan.
He's terrible. He was good on SNL. I don't know what the hell happened.
Yeah, he was kind of good on SNL.
Yeah.
You know?
And it just, like, I liked Billy Madison a lot. I really liked, what you call it, the other one, where he's the golfer.
Oh, yeah, that was a good movie.
Yeah.
Happy Gilmore.
Yeah, Happy Gilmore.
I enjoyed Happy Gilmore. And so I'm going to say that as a consequence, Adam Sandler is not on this list because as far as I'm concerned, this list is people who've never done anything good at all in their field. Now,
Okay.
it is the case that Bill Walton has never done a good job of broadcasting a basketball game in the entirety of his career. It is the case that, for example, Dave Matthews Band, even if you think one of their songs is tolerable, it's not like there's anyone's life would be worse off for not having the Dave Matthews Band in it. Nobody's life would be worse off. Nobody would be sad about that because everyone would realize, oh my God, that was so disposable anyway.
So interesting.
Same thing with Kings of Leon. Everyone's going to feel better without Kings of Leon in their life because Kings of Leon is awful, awful, awful. Zandy, Adam Sandler gives you the cringe. Yes, he gives Rachel the cringe too.
He's bad news bears. He just never evolved out of that like being.
He never had to, he never had this sort of environment probably. This is the sort of environment that one really needs to have to try to optimize if you're third slot FE, as I suspect he is, which is one that offers a lot of critique. Yes, I said Kings of Leon suck. They suck so bad. They're so awful. I hate them so much. That's what I have to say about that. This is why we are conflictor types, as Octavia so. Because you have terrible taste in music? Yes, that's why.
Okay, this is like an interesting list. This is difficult. I'm really like.
I think we
Because
can.
there are people that I
Well,
hate.
let's put Adam Sandler as an honorary member of the list. Okay, he gets honorary membership. It's not full membership because he used to be good. A little couple.
Rob Schneider's pretty bad.
Oh yeah, Rob Schneider. Ooh, Rob Schneider. Wow. Oh. Ouch. Samantha Bee.
Oh fuck.
Samantha Bee. Nickelback? I don't know Nickelback enough to hate them. I'm assuming they're terrible.
That's a good contender, I have to say.
Rachel agrees with you, it's a good contender, but
yeah. Although I think that song, that band that sang the Butterfly song, my baby, come, my baby, you're my sugar pie, sugar baby. I fucking hate that band.
I don't know who that is.
They were popular in like 90s.
But Eric, look at this photograph. What photograph?
Look at this photograph. That one.
Wait, let me meow the meow. I might have it on top chat. I do probably almost certainly have it on top chat. I always forget. Don't look into Nickelback. You'll be wanting to listen to Dave Matthews as a palate cleanser.
Ew.
Okay. Well, look. That is terrible. Then. What's the band with the photograph song?
Nickelback.
Oh, that's Nickelback. Okay.
Yeah. It's a popular vine.
Why are they terrible or something?
Yeah.
Oprah. Well, I don't think Oprah really even makes shows anymore. She just sort of has her network and she doesn't really have her show anymore. Dr. Phil. A lot of people hate Dr. Phil. I don't really hate Dr. Phil that much. I understand it when people say like Dr. Phil is terrible or whatever, but I actually kind of, there's times when I agree with Dr. Phil and times when I don't. I ended up being exposed to a fair amount of Dr. Phil at Kimberly Sass because she was a big Dr. Phil fan. I would say Dr. Phil does not make my list of horribles.
Oh, he's pretty. He makes my list.
He makes Rachel's list.
Oh, he's so gross. I would punch him out so much. I'd love to punch his face. Right in his eye.
Dr. Phil is literally God, like who TF hates him, says Sky Gear Eternal Noob. Well, Rachel does. I think that, I like it when he says, you're never going to make any progress until you face the truth. You've got to face the truth.
But see, there's so much hypocrisy in him because he doesn't look himself in the face either. Like he doesn't look himself in the mirror. He's this like, he's this guy who got popular because Oprah saw something in him. He has some good advice, but he's mostly just there for entertainment to like move things along as moderator and to create drama when there's a sense that there could be some. Like he's good at that.
Hmm.
But
I mean, she
he doesn't
doesn't watch
understand
it.
young people. He doesn't understand young people. And that's gonna be a gaping hole.
Didn't Dr. Phil lose his license in Texas and work somewhere else? I don't know.
Probably.
I don't know. So
Trust TV doctors, just like Dr. Oz. It's like, some of the stuff is good and valid, but really, I mean, they're getting pretty big paychecks.
yeah, well, I agree that in general you can't trust TV doctors, and there's a lot of people on TV that you shouldn't have a lot of faith in, for sure. But
I don't know. I just see him as I don't care. You can like whoever. I mean, I just don't like him. I've been trying to be parented by him, and he doesn't work. Trust me.
You mean your mom tried to get?
Yeah, he doesn't
Okay.
work.
I can understand why you wouldn't like him then, Rachel.
Yeah.
So, Dark Phoenix, to answer that question, Rachel's mom tried to use Dr. Phil as a means of sort of parenting her, so that's why I guess she's familiar with Dr. Phil.
Yeah, he doesn't understand. There was just a young woman who was smoking weed, and her mom had the same thing with her mom not liking it. She was like, the mom was like, "Oh, I don't know what to do with my teen. She's such an asshole." Like not that she was such an asshole, but like, she just doesn't listen to me, and I don't know what to do. And then the teen like came out, and she was like, my mom she doesn't listen to me. That like she was acting ghetto, right? So then, of course, Dr. Phil's like, you should listen to your mom. You should listen to more of what your mom's saying. And I'm like, fuck you. You know what? Do what you want. Want to leave that? And so she left the studio, and I was like, yeah, Mom, that's what I would do. Bam. Bye.
Well, I don't blame you for not liking Dr. Phil as a consequence.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. I don't like that kind of ontological violence against pot smokers either. It's bullshit. It's like, I've seen it being waged against Rachel, and I call bullshit on it there. And all of a sudden they scramble as soon as you call bullshit on it.
Yeah.
And the thing is, if they were right, they wouldn't scramble, right?
Yeah, of course.
If they had any legs to stand on, they wouldn't scramble about it, but they scramble away.
Well, I got upset before because I was thinking about how like it really like wasn't fair. Like there wasn't any like conversation between like with me getting like, being here and like then the 2 weeks there was no discussion. It was just I was sent here. There was no discussion between like you, my dad, my brother, which was never gonna happen. But there was no discussion. It was just like I was sent here and like kind of we were left to figure out, and I hate that.
So you feel like you weren't involved in the discussion enough?
No, I felt like no one was in discussion enough.
Right. Well,
Like-
I mean, the thing is, I can understand how, especially, you'd feel as though you were a puck in this thing. It's like I did what I had to do, which is to say I had to deal with my dad and figure out what was going to happen here, and then deal with your dad. And I probably forgot to include you in the discussion. But the thing is, the discussions were out of my control anyway.
It wasn't even you though. It was more like my. Me telling my dad, like, oh, like it might not be two weeks, it might be a week. There's just like information that should have been between you and my dad, and instead it was between. I was like a go-between, but I was a really bad go-between.
Right. Well, I mean, it was a tough situation for all parties involved. But what I'm really happy about actually is that you're getting to voice some of this stuff right now. Because like earlier when you were being very negative about like Adam Sandler, I thought, oh, here she's getting kind of nasty. But then when you explained why you didn't like Dr. Phil, it makes perfect sense,
Yeah.
and I understand now. And
I just think that
and I think in general you feel like this, you've been a puck being passed back and forth and not really involved in the decision making process, and you're here now, and I'm not sure if we've even really talked about it adequately or something.
Well, I just like I feel more. I just feel like this like person who's more of a burden than not a burden, but then it's like such an inconvenience. This happened the way that no one wanted it to.
Right, and you feel like you have ultimately you have to carry the weight of it because you've got to be extra nice or something.
I don't know. I don't even know. Like I don't know how to be extra nice.
But baby, the point I'm trying to say is you don't have to carry that burden, and you and I are a team. And if you feel like you're burdening me, you misunderstand the nature of our relationship dramatically. And I know you. I think you don't. You're not burdening me.
I don't know. It's like
It's
I know to
unfortunate.
subside.
Well, look, the thing is, you want to have more sort of independent power and control over your own life and affairs, understandably. And you don't feel as though that aspect of yourself was enabled by this whole process at all.
Yeah, and I just feel like everyone was kind of like compromised, and that like the people who got the most out of everything was my dad and my brother, because now I'm out of the house. It just doesn't. It just obviously idealists are gonna want everything to be like if like the way that it should have been.
Do you feel that no one in your family has tried to understand your position or needs and have not been open-minded enough to discuss things you wanted to talk about?
Like what kind of things? Anything?
I'm reading a possible interpretation here. Do you feel like nobody tried to understand your position or needs in this, and from your family?
I mean, definitely they don't care. They never. That's the dynamic. My dad, like, cares about me as a human being, but he cares more about like the harmony of the group overall. And me not being there is easier.
Well, I mean, look, I would not be surprised if your dad ends up out here staying entirely with us. So the thing is, he hasn't had an alternative heretofore. He's had you versus the other people, and he just hasn't had the strength or certainty or clarity to know what to do, I guess. So, he wasn't. That's the disadvantage of having FI in the tool function. Look, the thing is, she's got a different situation in that household than most people do for reasons out of her control. And so I'm just happy to liberate her from it. I don't feel as though she thinks that there's been any real justice on that end because they just get what they want, which is get her out of there without her being able to have the sort of dignity that goes along with a planned decision being made involving the other party in discussions. They've excluded her from discussions entirely, and me as well, in the sense that we can't talk to the brother who's the one who's driving this whole thing. And that's in order to deny her the dignity of an equal party in this matter. So naturally, she's going to be annoyed by that. But we'll get him, baby. Don't worry. I'll get him. They can't run forever. Shame monkeys.
It's just like I know in my head, if I had just been here today, right? Today would have been the first day. Like the mood would be different, but I can't. Like, there's nothing I can do because it's already been there.
What do you mean the mood would be different?
So like, I don't know. Like I think I have no idea. I don't know.
Do you wish you hadn't left early?
Yeah, like if things had just gone like as planned, like for some reason I feel like.
Why do you wish you hadn't left early? Because it turned out that the planes are still flying? I'm still glad you left early. It's like I could get you here earlier, and it only cost $75.
Yeah, it was really cheap.
So why not? You know, hi, Brittany. Is it your older brother or your younger brother, Anthony?
Younger, I'm the eldest. I have.
Oh, she's the eldest.
Yeah.
Well, this is where intentionality comes in, Winston's mom. What's the intention? Is the yeah, Rachel's with me. Is the intention um to peacefully coexist? Is the intention to, you know, diminish or belittle or otherwise reduce the other party? Then it's not a good thing. I mean, you know, it's like maybe I have a different understanding of family than other people do, but my that is a strange comment, Infra. The strawberry came from the war and was feeling pretty sacrificial after fighting with the chimneys, who were mad that their girlfriends kept disappearing for some strange reason. I have no idea what that means.
Me neither.
So anyway, Rachel, I understand how you wish things could have proceeded more normally, I guess, or
Yeah, like I
with
don't know.
with
I would not feel like I was like I would feel like more things weren't set. Like I knew that you and my dad and had at least agreed on things, that like your dad and you agreed on things. Like I would have been more settled. But like coronavirus panic and like just assholery stopped all that stuff from like flowing, and I just feel like unsettled, I guess.
well, I want you to feel as settled as you can. So I don't know what it is I can tell you to help you to settle more, but um, you know, it's all good. This virus thing is making you mad, you know that, Threx? Well, Dark Phoenix, you're full of advice. You're chock full of unsolicited advice. Rachel and I will be moved out together at some point. It's not right this second, and obviously, um, it's like it's extra weird now. We've had this whole virus thing. Sometimes NI needs TE to figure stuff out, and Rachel's SE is busy. Period. Pun intended. Oh yeah. Well, I forgot about that. I tend to forget about that stuff.
My period?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is, I'm happy to have Rachel voice her just whatever bad feelings she's got and whatever negativity she's feeling, because I know that that's one of the things that she's not really had the space in life to do before, and have that be accepted as legitimate. You know, that's my interpretation.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to voice how I feel. Like, I wish this was more of a happy time, but it doesn't feel it to me. Not completely. It's weird. It just doesn't. There's parts of it that like I wish were different.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's like we're coping ontologically with two different realities. One of which is that on a personal level, you and I are together, and that's nice and good, as it should be.
Yeah.
But on a global level, we're living in a new reality all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And that's something we've all got to adjust to. Your NI is going to feel very overwhelmed right now because everything's different. Everything's weird. And, what's the word? It's like normally as you're moving along, you expect everything to continue as is with some minor changes that are part of your storyline. If it's not the case that the background, everything continues as is sound, then all of a sudden things start feeling very disrupted and very like discontinuous. And it's concerning. It's like, okay, well, it's going to be upsetting sort of ontologically to anybody that you got to really be in the moment. You got to be a really like SE FI kind of person to not feel the weight of what's happening globally right now. So I'm feeling it too. It's heavy. It's a heavy reality we're living in right now. Like nothing I've ever seen before in all my 48 years. And
I just like it's all like confusing. It's just like I don't know. Like it's just I just feel like they're really like I feel like if this shit didn't go down, right? Then like your dad doesn't know about thing and he still thinks that I'm like flying out, right? Which like that's why. Like I guess all I want it to be is the truth so that there isn't a fucking lie.
there's no lie here. I didn't lie. He came in and said, "Are you still planning on leaving for those 2 weeks?" I said, "Yeah."
Yeah, then he said to me, he was like, I don't know about the flights. And I was like, yeah, I don't know about either.
Right, so
Which is true.
there is no lie. So look, the thing is also, because we haven't lied to him, when we segue tonight, we'll talk to him and we'll say, so look, this is what we're thinking about doing for those 2 weeks, Dad. Is driving across country and staying in various places. We should be able to get cheap places to stay, presumably, and see what he says about it. All right? Is that what's bothering you mostly?
No, I mean, I don't know what's going on. I just feel like everything was rushed and then like jostled things from being pleasant to like not so pleasant, and like obviously like you can't control the way things go, but there's like some like griminess that I feel towards everything instead of pleasantness, and I don't like it.
Yeah, I get you. I don't like the general griminess of the time period either.
That's
It's like it's yeah, well, I gotta say though, Hambone, I remember the misses too. There have been plenty of misses. So what do you think we have to do to resolve those bad feelings?
I think it's just gonna have to go away.
Just let it play out over time.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just impatient. I know I'm a control freak, and this is why. Like, if I could, I would patch things up so that it would feel the way it did if coronavirus and all this bullshit didn't happen between like my brother and everything.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Well, listen. Here's the thing, Rachel, and here's why you're probably so frustrated as well. Is because what you're telling me is you're gonna have to let SI do its thing. My dad is an SI tool user, so your NI truths won't work anyway. So you're just gonna have to sort of continue to be pleasant. We're gonna have to sort of settle in with how we interact with Dad and spend time with him and stuff, and then pretty soon from his perspective, it'll feel the same regardless, because he's
Yeah.
not really impacted by the NI things that much. He's impacted by the SI things. So I'm fairly rested at this point. I think going forward, like tomorrow, so we're going to have to spend more time with them probably, and maybe we can see if we can get us cooking some dinner again tomorrow, and so forth. He came in to see us when we were both sleeping in the master bedroom. He was looking for us, and anyway, Winston's mom says plan on hungering out for a few more weeks before you know much of anything else. I mean, here's the thing: how much longer are people going to wait until these supposed wave of hospitalizations and deaths occur that justify this bullshit? NI doesn't work with the ESTJs is right, but SI does, and so it just requires some patience and some clarity that at least I'm on the same page and I understand where you're coming from and why you're feeling that way. That makes perfect sense. So yeah, if we just, I hopefully that helps to know that I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
And I don't want you to extinguish that reality because it's unpleasant or something. I respect that reality, and we'll try to fix it as best we can.
No, I appreciate that you're telling me, because like that does help. It does help to know, because like I'm in my own head, you know.
Right. And one of the risks that I know that I bring to this relationship is that when Rachel expresses negativity, which isn't very often, which is pretty rarely, I don't necessarily respond well to it. So it's good when she starts to express some negative stuff if I dig more into what the negative is rather than try to avoid it or banish it or something, That's what she's accustomed to, I think, is people trying to banish it or extinguish it rather than respect it and let it have its voice.
Well, I want obviously like a really nice balance of that stuff too. I don't want it to be extinguished, like only because like if I don't express it, it's gonna be bad for everything.
Sure. If you don't feel like you have a legitimate way to voice what you're feeling and consider concerns and stuff, and the thing is, you probably feel very disempowered in the situation. Like you're not in a position to complain really to anybody without them going like, "Well, you've got no business complaining" or something. I would never say that to you though, and you're always welcome to complain as you see fit. I encourage you to voice your feelings, whatever they are. Sure. I'm not going to make mistakes I've made with you before like that, Before I was more scared of your negativity because I linked it to, bad things happening.
Yeah, understandably. I'm not. Sometimes I feel weird saying this because I'm actually saying the truth, but I know a lot of people say this and they are lying. But when I say this is the truth, I actually am a really positive person and I enjoy like living like that way. So I guess I expressing negative emotions is important because I actually don't like to. I can't like I can run about anything.
Well, you probably haven't had a lot of people respond well to negativity before, though, right?
It's a seven thing too, man.
Email Anthrax asks, Rachel, are you feeling unsure about your future right now? Like you don't know where it's going?
Interesting. No.
She says no, she's not feeling unsure. You're just feeling dissatisfied with the way things have played out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she confirms that. So Angantir says DSP made an interesting video this morning. What was interesting about it? I mean, I know that I feel like I would like some additional clarity about my immediate and intermediate future. I guess I should. Well, I do know what I'm doing at 7 o'clock. I guess I'll work on English with the freaking kids. God.
Yeah, but
I'm just being spoiled, is all. I'm just being spoiled. I should be happy at work, you know.
I feel you, but no, I really, really do. You don't understand. I really do on a deep level. I was a hostess for a very long time, and I had an awesome schedule, like ridiculous, like afternoon shift, like really nice, like it was great. And still, like an hour before, like having to go to work, like. Like I don't fucking go like 10 minutes ruins my like chill time, like
Yeah. We sevens are really spoiled. But I got a 7 p.m. remote tonight. That's true. That's true, Winston's mom.
What she said.
Making debate videos and taking advantage of the fact that kids are out of school right now might be a good idea to provide content that parents are looking for their kids to learn from, stuff like that, you know. It's a good idea. It's a good point. I should start Rhetorical Slope, my debate channel that I want to make. I'm feeling pretty well rested. I feel like I got an adequate level of dopamine back in me, which is to say, I don't feel really like low energy. I just feel kind of normal energy. But I could probably use another full night's sleep to get back into the full flow of things. I would also note that despite the fact that it's virus time, and despite what I would assume is Winston Baum's correct notion that people are getting better numbers and stuff and live streams and so forth, I'm still getting the same old numbers, if not smaller. You know, it's like who knows? Who the fuck knows why I can't grow in this live stream? It can't be. There can't be a lot. There can't be a lot of live streams that do what I do, which is to say live stream all the time like this, talk about interesting things in a fairly fluid fashion, and engage with the chat, and yet no growth.
How many people are in there right now?
11.
Okay, what happened to the 30-something from last week?
I don't know. I guess if I do topics like C.S. Joseph or whatever, people come in more. But I need more YouTube drama. That's what my channel is missing. I mean, it might have to do with exploiting the YouTube algorithm and SEO and stuff, or it might have to do with the fact that I've got a couple of strike. I have a strike and a warning, so maybe they suppressed me, or who knows. But it's odd because I'm pretty persistent in doing a lot of live streams, and I don't know what people look to live streams for, but McDonald's review by host Eric. That's what I should do. Okay.
Do you want us to go through a drive-through?
We do that often enough.
Yeah. You can record us. Drive-through. There's a lot of stuff. We can record. I wonder what it looks like at the mall.
I don't know. Yeah, we could go there and see if it's even open. I don't even know if it's open.
So
weird. Well, I guess I'm gonna wrap this up. It's 5 o'clock. I should probably go and talk to my dad a bit and see what he has. I haven't talked to him for a while and see what's going on. And I got that work thing at 7. So anyway, talk to y'all later. Thanks for being here. Don't forget to eat plenty of cheese. Yeah.